Hello and welcome to Easy Like a Sunday Morn. I'm your host, TheShaneLockwood, and today is September the 7th, 2014, and this is episode 24. As usual, I'd like to thank everybody who tunes in every week, and especially those who are listening for the very first time. This is a weekly podcast, and today's show is a little bit later than normal. I apologise for that. However, this is a podcast where I do not recommend you listen to it while driving your car or operating heavy machinery, because it's been known to put a few people to sleep because they're listening later at night and so on. These dulcet tones have been known to switch a few people off, so just be aware of that as you listen to the show. And I want to give a bit of a special shout out to Smiler Tyler and also my good friend Mary, who listen and let me know that they listen every week. And also to my good friend Dre, I hope he's still listening. I haven't heard any comments from him for a while, so do leave a comment if you're listening to this through YouTube, also through Spreaker, Stitcher, YouTube, TuneIn, iTunes, and any other apps that you happen to use to listen to podcasts and things like that. Now, today's show, to start it off with, there was another celebrity death, and I don't want to go into too much details because I didn't know her all that well, and I just want to say that there's been a few too many deaths lately. Please stick around and don't do anything stupid. Yeah. What else is happening in the news? This has caused a bit of a kerfuffle. This is about the leaked photos. These are not leaked photos. And a lot of the focus from the media has been on one celebrity. However, I'd like to point out that it was 100 celebrities, 100 ladies were targeted in this hacking attack where this guy had gotten into the iCloud and broken into the privacy and violated the privacy of these ladies and downloaded a whole heap of pornographic images and nude photos and all the rest of it. And some of them are quite X-rated stuff. But the focus was not on, from the media, was on most people was, oh, well, if they didn't want the stuff to be leaked, then they shouldn't have produced the material in the first place. But that's not the focus. The focus is on the fact that somebody violated their privacy. Some have gone as far as saying it's akin to sexual assault. You can discuss that amongst yourselves. I don't know where I sort of sit on that. I don't know whether that is an insult to those who have been victims of sexual assault or not. It's a very sensitive issue. But what I'd like to say is that some of those photos and materials were deleted, and get this, right? Deleted on whatever format they were on. So in this case, it was an iPhone. So you take a few photos, you delete a few photos on your iPhone. Those things, whenever you take a photo, it's stored on the cloud, on the iCloud. And a lot of people did not know this when they were using the iPhones. I'll have to do some more research into finding out whether it's straight away, if it's a generic thing, or whether you have to sign up for iCloud storage or not. But those things were deleted. Now, you think when you delete something, you think that it's removed from your hard drive. However, it is not. What actually happens is within the operating system, actually, first of all, when you delete something, you drag it to your recycling bin or whatever. that's not deleting. It's just putting it into another folder, which is the recycling bin. Now the recycling bin has an option to it, which is empty recycle bin. When you empty the recycle bin, it is therefore deleted. However, what I'm going to go into is a little bit more complicated. When information is stored on a computer, it's stored in a magnetic format onto the hard drive from memory, from my own memory, if that's true. Now, what happens is that cannot be removed. Physically, it cannot be removed. So what the operating system does is you say, okay, well, I'm deleting that stuff. I've dragged it to the recycling bin. I've emptied the recycling bin. What it does then, what the operating system does then is say, okay, it finds that file, it says there's a checkbox that says, I can access that file. When you say, okay, I'm deleting it, it says, it just unchecks what you can access and what you can't. What the hackers have done is broken in through an exploit, which means there was a gap in some of the programming on Apple's side of things. They've gotten in and went, there's a whole heap of these photos that have been deleted, and they've just unchecked or rechecked. Yes, I can access this, and they've taken it and distributed it online. The other aspect was, so it is a crime. They've broken in, they've stolen some stuff, and the other aspect was that this guy tried to sell this stuff on whatever format. I think he went to a website called Reddit, which is like where most of the memes and things come from. And then he went to 4chan. 4chan is basically the Mos Eisley Cantina of the internet. And if you're familiar with the first Star Wars film, you'll know that the Mos Eisley Cantina is a most wretched hive of scum and villainy. And so 4chan is a place where everything goes on the internet. Any sort of racist image you can think of is there. Sexist, pornographic, brutal, gore. It's all there, right? There's no censorship whatsoever. Everybody's anonymous there. And it's just a place where you don't want your stuff to end up. One of my videos ended up there, and I don't know why. And I don't know which particular video. I just know that part of the search function, some of the views were coming from 4chan, and I don't know why. But that's 4chan. And this guy raised about €120 for these images. So it's roughly about, 100 and whatever. So basically $120. And that clicking sound you'd heard, well, I was just downloading an interview with Tom Baker. And that should be interesting listening. I'll talk about that next week, maybe, after I've listened to it. But, okay, I'll just turn that off. Excuse me while I edit. Now, the point is that these things were stolen. Somebody's broken the law. Someone's violated somebody else's privacy. They've stolen stuff that was deleted. And everybody's focusing on, these ladies shouldn't have had this material. Everybody creates material like this for the most part. And what you do in your privacy of your own home should be private. And it's a shame when these things happen that the media focuses on the victims rather than the people perpetrating the crime. And the FBI are after them, and they will get them. It might take months in real terms, because digital forensics does take a while, but they will get them. Now, what have I got? I've got 9 minutes. Okay, that's not too bad for a little bit of rambling, eh? And a lot of that stuff I was just repeating. Explain the hard drive. Now, for those of you who don't know, on a Sunday morning, a special treat that you might like to try is called a jaffle. Now, this is a British term, and you may have a different term for the same thing in your own country, but a jaffle, Jaffle, or a toasty, as it's called in Australia, is basically where you get a piece of toast, you cook your toast, and then, or maybe even not, I think you can just use bread. I think you just use sliced bread. What you do is you butter the underside, the outside of both sides of a sandwich, so for example, and then what you do is you put it in a jaffle maker, jaffle iron. They used to be, my father had one from the 70s, from the 60s even, and that was round. And you had to cut the bread in a certain way. You actually cut the crusts off and you get like a circular thing. Inside the bread, what you do is you put baked beans, you could put spaghetti, you could put Irish stew, mincemeat, cooked mincemeat, whatever you wanted really, because it's just a toasted sandwich. But for me, the best part of a jaffle or a toasty is the hot melted cheese. So a cheese and tomato sandwich with hot melted, like so hot it stings your lips, those sorts of, that kind of heat. Cheese and tomato toasty. My goodness, perfect breakfast. And you can cover it in tomato sauce, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, you name it. You can cover it in more cheese. You can have whatever you want. It's a brilliant little thing to do. And I think in the UK they call them Breville irons. Breville is the name of the manufacturer of the people that do these toaster ovens. And you can make them, square. The design of them is such that when you put the bread into the Breville maker thing, toasted sandwich maker, it becomes like a hot press. So you put down the piece of bread with the butter side down on the hot plate, put your filling in, then you put a piece of bread with the butter side up over the top, then you press down on the press. It's like a piece of metal, right? It's got electricity flowing through it, and it heats it up. So it's very, very hot. And then you lock it together, and it cooks the bread so it becomes like a piece of toast. So you got like two pieces of toast wedged together and then sealed together with cheese, or just with general heat. And it's just absolutely brilliant breakfast. And it's been a while since I've had one. I don't have a jaffle iron or a bread toasty maker. I don't know what they'd be called these days. I'd have to look it up, I think. I don't eat bread very often, but I was just thinking, I did have a few sandwiches today, and I thought, wouldn't it be good if you could just make a few toasties, and I think it would be a good, easy Sunday morning treat. What do you think? Do you like toasties or jaffles? Or if you've never had one, what do they call them in your country? I might have to Google that, save you the trouble, but leave a comment down below. Let me know whether you've had them or not. What have I got here? I've written a note saying USA. Oh, yeah. What I did, I went through the statistics for last week's show, and a lot of you are listening to this in the United States, which is great. A few from Australia, a few from the UK, and I'd like to expand the listenership if I could. That would be great. So all you've got to do is tell a friend about the show, and that's how you support me. click like on YouTube, thumb up on Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, write a review on iTunes. Now there's a new app called TuneIn, and you should be getting episodes of this on TuneIn. I can access the website, however I would need to upgrade my phone before I could actually access the app to test it. And I'm looking at the iTunes podcast app as well, but I think I would need to upgrade my phone to be able to access it as well. But it's quite a few of you just listening, watching the show through your through however you watch YouTube, which is mainly at your computer. But there's a few people actually listening to this on their mobile phones. And that's the wonder of analytics. Isn't it fantastic? You can actually find out this information. So thank you for those of you who are listening to this through your mobile phone. Thank you for listening for this long. I know there's a lot of people who don't listen to the whole show. That's why I have a code word. It just lets me know who's genuinely listening to the whole show, and that way I can gauge certain numbers and things like that. Maybe even offer prizes and things for those people who are genuinely listening and using the code words and that sort of stuff. What I might do is just send a few postcards and things like that. If you do want to send a postcard and have it read out on the show, or if you just want a shout out on the show, what you can do is send me a postcard to TheShaneLockwood at PO Box 1067, Salisbury. That's SAL. Oh, you got to be kidding me! SALISBURY, Salisbury, space SA in capital letters, and another space 5108, Australia, and that's where to send the postcard. Now, what else have I got? Oh, this just in, and there was a video by Dibber. If you don't know who Dibber is, go over to his YouTube channel. He's got several, but Dibber's page, DIBBERSPAGE, should get you to his main page, where he does like the news and things like that. And he's talking about how they found the identity of Jack the Ripper. And it's taken them a long time, and there's been a lot of speculation and a lot of pointing fingers and who do you think did it, and so on and so forth. But what they've got now is DNA evidence, and they're like 99.9% sure that it's this guy called Aaron Kosminski, who was a Polish immigrant. And someone had said that he was a hairdresser, and I made the joke, a reference to Sweeney Todd, the hairdresser that I think there's a movie with Johnny Depp, who will be starring in a movie called Yoga Hoses, written by Kevin Smith in next year. I think it's coming out. And Kevin Smith has got another movie out called Tusk, which comes out on my birthday, September 19th. So, yep, that'd be something to look forward to. But yeah, Jack the Ripper, finally, and they used DNA. And what had happened was there was a shawl used by one of his victims, and they'd found the shawl, rescued it from the crime scene, and that shawl had been passed down from family member to family member. But I don't know how would you put this? How would you put in like secure? Like my first thought was that it would be tainted. Like when they do DNA evidence, it has to be pure. and sterile. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. It has to be sterile, like kept in a sterilized environment. So there's no outside contamination from other people. But they tested the families of everybody that may have come in contact with the shawl and all that sort of stuff, so they could eliminate their DNA. And yeah, they found. It turns out that the guy, this Aaron Kosminski, was one of the primary suspects anyway. So they were close. 100 years ago, they were close to finding out who it was. But this just sort of cements who they thought it was. And there are plenty of news outlets that will have the story. Wow, 20 minutes and lots of awkward pauses because I didn't plan this very well at all. Now, what's going on? Doctor Who is back on. Doctor Who is back on, and we're up to the 3rd episode of season 8. And I haven't spoken about the show so far. They've been pretty good. I felt that the show's been fairly dry so far. And I think it was because a few of the episodes were leaked, and I think the scripts were leaked as well. And this has meant that because I was exposed to the scripts and the black and white leaked episodes, there isn't the excitement of the show anymore. I'll see what happens later on in the season. I think season 8, episode 6 will be when the show starts to get more interesting, because that's when it will have the surprise element again. It's a shame when people let the ball down and leak the episodes, but it turns out that the leaked episodes weren't hacked. They were transferred from the guy, basically from the production team, to the guy doing all the special effects, and they were left on a hard drive, or using a program called Dropbox to transfer the program overseas. And what had happened was that they didn't password lock it at all. So it was just open for anybody who wanted it. It was just left on a hard drive somewhere. Oh, what's all this? Oh, okay, bang. And then it just got shared all over the internet through Pirate Bay and other websites like that. So you can still watch the black and white pre-special effect editions of these episodes, but if you're a fan, you're better off waiting. It just does not ruin it. This week, Doctor Who meets Robin Hood, and there were quite a few in-jokes. I think I made a reference on Facebook to the return of Venusian Aikido, which is something that the 3rd Doctor used to use a lot. And there's just a quick reference to it, a quick usage of it by Peter Capaldi, who is the 12th Doctor. But the numbering of the Doctors is sort of funny anyway, because they've changed it all. But officially he's the 12th actor, but that's not even correct either, to say that he's the 12th actor to play the role because of this other character called the War Doctor, who's in between Doctor 8 and Doctor 9. It just gets really, really complicated. Really quite silly, actually. But I'm 23 minutes in. What was I going to do? I knew there was a lot of stuff that I was going to talk about, but it has escaped me, which is a pain in the backside. Because now I'm drifting with 25 minutes in, and I've got space to fill. What I'll do is I'll pause this for a second. Did you miss me? What else was happening? Oh, a bit of a comedy of errors now I've thought about it. My hearing aid. I went in... Jeez. I went into the hearing place to say, hey, I've lost a hearing aid and I need a hearing test. Okay. So I go in and they say, oh, okay, yep, look, we've replaced the hearing aid. We'll just swap it over, no worries. And then she goes, oh, do you want me to clean the other one for you? Oh, yeah, okay, fine. So she goes out, and I'm thinking, okay, she's taking a bit of a long time. What she did was she unscrewed the hearing aid, and because I'd paid for the replacement, but this is with the older one. So she's unscrewed the older one to clean it, and in doing so, she's dislodged the microphone, and then she couldn't get it out, and then so she sent it away to get somebody else to fix it. And I'm thinking, you could have just written the whole thing off and given me a second brand new hearing aid for the sake of another $30. But so I'm without a hearing aid in my other ear now, and it's been a week. It's been a week for them to try and fix it. Isn't that silly? Isn't that crazy? I had to go a few days without one hearing aid. Now I've had to go a week without the other one. And she was all apologetic and things like that. And I'm laughing my head off because it's just like, people, this is just a comedy of errors. It just doesn't stop with me. Speaking of comedies, my good friend Gaza has a new video up, and you should see it. It's called Ancient Alien Bleep Holes. I'm not going to swear on here, but yeah, it's worth seeing. It's absolutely hilarious. And my other good friend, Pimp Monk, has a playlist of his random insanity videos. They're short and sweet, and they're really, really funny. They're only like a minute or so long, and you can't go wrong, really. So do check them out. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do... I'm thinking about doing a Patreon thing. If you've never heard of Patreon, it's Patreon, I think. Patreon. And what it is, a few people have done it rather successfully. It's where I basically ask you guys for money. Just simple terms, really. But what happens is it's a monthly pledge of like a minimum amount of like $1. But what happens is you get bonus content, you get all sorts of stuff. I haven't figured out what to offer yet, but what I'm doing is just seeing what the likelihood of people would be to support something like that. Now, I've had a little bit of feedback saying that a few people, they wouldn't do that, which is fine. And I don't know whether to even bother with doing that sort of stuff, because in order for me to progress any further, I need a website, and a website will cost money. I need not just the website itself. The website I could probably make for free. It's the domain name, it's the hosting, it's the monthly, having to pay, like a monthly thing for the domain name, maybe an annual fee. And I don't know what that would be. Some people say it's only like $20. Some people say it's $100. Some people say it's $400. I don't know. I'll have to do more research into that side of things. But that's basically the linchpin with this program. And I just thought I'd, ask you guys what you thought of that sort of thing. I could have gone through GoFundMe or Kickstarter or Indiegogo. There's other ones, but I think Patreon is a bit more focused towards podcasting and YouTubers and stuff like that, because you've already got a pre-existing audience. And then you can say, well, if you want these things to improve, if you want me to upload a podcast on time, then a few dollars goes towards producing, buying like better microphones, buying For example, I found a microphone for about $30 US. That's good quality. So those sorts of things, and I think I'll probably buy that by myself anyway. The other thing I'm got to look at, not just the website, because the website allows me to have affiliate links, because these companies want to see that I'm serious and that I have a genuine audience. So what they're looking for is to say, okay, oh look, you got this U-Butte website, and then I can then put links to whatever. Now, an affiliate link is basically where if I had an affiliate link with Amazon, what happens is, like in Amazon, they mainly sell books, but then they can sell other things as well, like toys, makeup, cameras, electrical equipment, etc. Right? Now, if I had an affiliate link with them, what happens is I give you a promo code, you go through me, you get a discount, I get paid a certain amount for each transaction. You go off to Amazon, you buy whatever it is that you normally would through Amazon, but you go through and you use my promo code, or you go through my affiliate link and you just shop like you normally would. You get the discount and I get paid. And that's how that works. But in order for me to do that, I have to have a legitimate website, and the legitimate web costs money, etc., etc. Also have to look at expanding the basically I need more ears listening to this, and that's what I'm heading towards. I'm working on trying to find a way of expanding this to do that. But I've come to another show. Sorry it's so light on the content. Thank you once again for tuning in. If you would like to be part of the show, contribute to the show, even just comment, leave feedback, please leave comments in the box down below, comment box down below. If you're listening to this through YouTube, if you're listening to this through Spreaker or Stitcher, you can still leave comments. They come through to me. If you're listening to TuneIn, I may not get them, but Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, and YouTube, that's 5 ways you can actually get this program. Please click like, subscribe, whichever format that you wish to use. If you are using an app, you wish to branch out and use a brand new app that I've never heard of before, please let me know, and I will do my best to get this show onto that format. This show is on most podcast directories. There's a few that I can't get on because they don't have links to submit the show, unfortunately, and I'll have to contact people directly. I don't know whether they are active or not. It doesn't matter. Anyway, that's all from me today. Thank you very much for listening to me rabbit on for like half an hour or so. Hope you had a great sleep, Smiler Tyler, and I'd like to catch you all again next week, but I'm hoping that even if you took today easy like a Sunday morn, that the rest of the week flows through from here and also becomes easy like a Sunday morn. That's all from me today. Look after yourselves and see you next week. Bye for now.